broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this episode of Gun Guy Radio is sponsored by Patriot Patch Company. PatriotPatch.co.
Welcome to episode 250 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challen, with co-host Zach Carlson. This is your dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Hey, Zach.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Let's get right into Patriot Patch Company. Helps make this episode possible. You can check out the Patch of the Month Club at patriotpatch.co. You get a unique patch shipped to your mailbox every month and with an artwork card.
Yeah, you get the patch, the sticker, and the artwork card.
Absolutely. And we have Christmas ornaments, new Christmas ornaments, and classic ones as well in stock. Christmas patches. So check it out, patriotpatch.co. And hopefully I post this in time for Christmas. So.
I was say, when's the last day they can order to get it in time for Christmas?
Only
the 18th?
Only the post office knows that. Man, it's been terrible.
Oh, the post office is terrible.
I mean, UPS, FedEx, everything's been off. Like, this is like the worst year I've seen for carriers.
I've been having problems with FedEx for a few months. I used to like FedEx. Like, I thought they were like the underdogs, the non-union led, hey, these guys got it, made or got it right. And then it kept getting these ones where it said like delivery the day, and then it would just go to pending, and then you'd be showing up a day or two later and you're like, well, this is ridiculous. Like, why were you didn't know until now you weren't going to deliver it today? Like, come on.
Right.
And then the post office has just gotten horrible today. Not today, but recently I had I was using Walgreens pharmacy where they just mail it to you.
Oh yeah.
And it was working great when it works great. But then I had this medication that just sat on the other side of the state in Washington for like days and just never showed up. It was supposed to be I ran out on a Thursday, which usually you get your medication before you run out of the one before. And it was like come like Tuesday. I'm like, okay, I need this medication. I had to go to the local pharmacy and pay for it out of pocket just without insurance because, the insurance filled it already and paid for it. So I was like, this is ridiculous. So I stopped using the mail version of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had issues with customers and stuff that I've never had before, and hopefully after COVID and everything, it resolves itself. I don't know if that's the real reason, but it's just getting crazy, and they jack the rates on us, and they're jacking them again this next year, so it's not fun.
Is it just literally like a COVID quantity type of thing or whatever? Because, I never noticed so many people using rental trucks, because every day UPS and FedEx are in like literal U-Hauls and like Penske trucks instead of their normal fleet vehicles rolling around here. And then like the mail is doing like there's people just showing up in their regular vehicles delivering like the packages, and then the regular mailman comes and drops off the regular mail. It's like they're just adding. Do they have that much extra volume that they're adding all these? Like,
well, I think more people than ever are shopping from home. I think that's accelerated a lot. But I know that metro areas, like every Christmas the past few years, all the U-Hauls and, trucks like that are just gone around the holidays because FedEx and UPS snaps them all up. So, well,
here's a logistical question. How the heck do they make sure that the boxes are all delivered? Because in a UPS truck, there's like racking that goes along the sides of the truck. In a U-Haul, it's just literally a box. And like, it looks just like mounds of boxes. It's like that Wish.com like order fulfillment video you see where the people are just walking on tops of piles of boxes. It's just like that in a truck. And it's like, well, how do you miss that? I think that's what happened to me a couple times with FedEx, is like it was on the vehicle for delivery, and then they must have found it at the end of the shift, like sitting in somewhere in the truck where they didn't think it was going to be. And it's like, oh yeah, I'll get that tomorrow kind of thing. It's like,
Well, my FedEx guy, they got one rack in the back of the truck, and it's kind of like a U-Haul style truck, and like everything just falls off the rack by the time he gets to my place, and then he's like sorting through this big pile of packages trying to find mine.
So, okay, we've complained about medication, we've complained about delivery stuff. Are we officially an old man podcast now, or do we need to complain about the weather of some sort?
Oh, we're going to complain about ammo. Current events here, the state of ammo.
Oh.
Ammunition.
Yeah, okay.
So,
yeah, let's do it.
So I actually got out and up to the Cabela's here in Mitchell, South Dakota. Probably a lot of people have stopped at the Cabela's. It's kind of on the right on 90 there. And I don't know that I'd ever been in there. Maybe I had years ago and I just can't remember. It's not like a giant Cabela's, but it's a decent store. And I thought, hey, I'll check out the ammo situation, the gun situation there. I only had like 10 minutes, so I just flew in there and flew out, basically. I'm like walking up to the, the section that they have the ammo and everything. And you know how they have rows and rows of every kind of ammo you could ever want. It's not always necessarily the cheapest, but Cabela's, like, if you need some oddball ammo, you can usually find it there. Mm-hmm. And then they, have these areas where they have pallets of ammo where you can just grab stuff. And so I'm walking up, and from a distance, it's like, wow, it kind of looks fully stocked. And then you get up there, and there are rows and rows and rows of ammo. Is all shotgun ammo. It's all shotgun shells. Everything is stocked as shotgun shells. They took down all the tags for all the handgun ammo, rifle ammo, 22 ammo. All the tags are gone. It's just all shotgun shells everywhere. Pallets of shotgun shells in the pallet area. And so I'm like, wow.
It's like a fudge dream.
That's, that's kind of disappointing. Well, I was thinking, Zach, what you need to do there at Lone Wolf is, if you can make a Glock take shotgun shells, you have the corner on the market right now. You could buy ammo for it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a 410 would fit if you had the mag weld wouldn't work. Single shot. You could do a single shot.
There you go.
Like a tip up barrel, like my little Beretta, little suppressed Beretta, like a tip up barrel shotgun shell, go back down.
Yeah. There you go.
Huh. Interesting. So, before you were praising the small town America ammo situation. Is your local situation any better?
It was really delayed out here. It's all gone now, but I was like, man, I was stupid. I should have bought some stuff, even though I didn't need it, cause it was really delayed out here, where bigger metro areas in other states had been gone for months in some areas, and it was still here for a little while. So yeah, now it's all gone, even the smaller stores, it seems like. So there's that.
Well, you're talking to an industry insider here, so I have this account at a distributor. So let me just pull this up for you. This is one of the largest distributors in the gun world. Has thousands and thousands and thousands of SKUs of things. So I'm just going to go and click ammo. Okay. No filtering yet.
Okay.
Just ammo. So there are 2,184 different SKUs of ammo available at this distributor. But let me just filter by in stock, ready to ship. Well, that goes from 2,184 to 14. And before the show, it was 16, because I checked it just to see what it was before we started recording. So it was only, 15 minutes ago? And it was 16. So now it's 14. And of the 14, it is 12 gauge, 257 Roberts plus P for whatever reason, 375 Ruger, another 375 Ruger, 17 Hornady, 458 Win, 333 Nosler, 30 Nosler, another 12 gauge, another 12 gauge, another 12 gauge, another 12 gauge, 257 Weatherby, and 300 Weatherby. So if you have any of those calibers, you're golden still, but anything that anybody actually shoots, you're kind of screwed.
This is where those Thompson Centers shine, because it's in all those oddball old man calibers in the pistol version. There you go. Single shot though.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem is that the ammo that is in stock, let's do 257 Weatherby, for example. A box of 20 rounds. They have 437 boxes, so you can get a boatload of ammo, but the MSRP on that box of ammo is $77 a box for 20. That's just the MSRP. That's pre-COVID surge pricing too. That's a pretty pricey piece of ammo there.
I'll take a case.
But I'll get it right there for you. I got my coworker Matt, he was at the local sporting goods store here, and he called me. He's like, "Hey man, they got ammo. You want some?" And I'm like, "All right, what do they got?" And he said, "There's 150 grain Syntac, federal 9mm ammo." And he gave me the price, and I just looked at it, and I'm like, "That's double what I'm used to paying, like over double. And it's just like, no, I don't need it that bad. I'll let somebody else that wants to pay that price get it.
Well, if it's under 60 cents a round right now for 9 mil, that's a deal, right?
Yeah. I don't know I can't remember what it was, but it just seemed high. And I went and shot this last weekend, and I shot I built a compact Timberwolf frame, so a G19 gun, and I was testing that. I don't know if you remember, I talked about that cam lock system on the suppressors where it's like a quarter turn.
How's that working?
I went to go test that out. It worked good. I mean, it works. It didn't fall off. It didn't loosen, but I kind of forgot how loud suppressed pistol was. Like, it's still not quiet. Like, you know, I don't know, just, it still seemed a little bit painful. I was shooting 115 grain, so that's probably one of my problems. Was I was just trying to shoot the cheapest stuff just to see what it worked, but I shot like 200 rounds of 9mm, and I was like, oof, I can't replace this, but I kind of needed to. So, and then I got to go back out in that, cause after I was all done, I built an iron sighted gun, and I'm like, okay, this is okay, you know, it's fine. And then I was like, well, you know, I don't like iron sighted guns anymore. So I put an RMR on it. So now I got to go back and test sight it and everything with the RMR on it, but it is what it is. So are you shooting because you're scared of ammo going away, or?
Oh, I'm not throwing money. I'm not throwing money out the window like you. No, well, if I had time to shoot, I would. I need to get out and shoot some stuff, actually. Anyway, back to my Cabela's trip real quick. Let me wrap that up. So I checked out the gun counter and everything, and to my surprise, it looked fully stocked with pistols.
Like, because nobody can shoot them.
Yeah. I mean, I was still kind of surprised. I mean,
like good pistols or like just oddballs? No,
good. You could get pretty much any flavor of Glock. However, you were going to pay for it because like the Glock MOS was like $800, and then like a Glock with a red dot already on it was like $1,000. So their prices were up there, and then they had like CZs and SIGs, and they had some 1911s. I mean, they had pretty much anything, any flavor of anything. You know, it wasn't just like the Heritage Rough Riders in there with a couple Tauruses or something. It was like every name brand, it seemed like, was in there. So, I mean, if you wanted it and were willing to pay the price, you know, Cabela's COVID pricing on it, you could have it. So I thought that was kind of cool.
But you literally cannot buy a round of ammo in the same store you could buy the pistol.
Correct. Yep. Nothing. Not.
I wonder if they got a little honey hole in the back that they like give to special customers.
Yeah. How do you become a special customer?
I think you grow a set of something that you.
Oh yeah. So, and they were pretty much wiped out of powder. They had like 4 little things of powder, 4 different single things of powder. So I guess
a 1 pounder or something.
Yeah. 1 pounders. Yep. And then, I kind of ran through the rest of the store and checked out. I bought, some 12 gauge deer slugs because I shot all my 12 gauge slugs and I just wanted to restock those. I need to check my Walmart to see if I can get some cheaper slugs, and I need to get some more buckshot too, just to have it.
Yeah, I went to Cabela's not too long ago. And they did have ammo still at that time. This is probably a month or 2 ago at this point, but it was just oddball calibers, the stuff you don't really see very often.
Their oddball section was like, I'm holding my hands about a foot apart here, and 1 shelf of like oddball stuff was all they had left. So they were wiped. I mean, beyond wiped.
So I guess like if you're getting ready for like an African safari and you need to load your 416 Rigby or something like that, you're still safe. But if you want to shoot anything standard, you're kind of SOL.
So how long do you think this is going to last, the state of ammo as it currently is? What's your opinion on it?
Well, here's the crazy thing, and ammo is still being made and it's still being sold. We get offered ammo, which we're buying, and I've actually been able to buy some ammo a little bit here and there because we do get shipments of ammo every week roughly. And, it's out there. It's just all these, I wish they had stats of it, but you know, stats for anything are hard to get, like, you know, exactly how many of anything sells, but like the gun industry is even harder because it's just kind of a more paranoid crowd. You know, it's hard to get sales data for everything, but I'd really love to know, like, is this existing gun owners buying ammo? Is it people that just got into guns and are buying ammo because they don't have anything? I have to believe that people that are new are the only ones being able to pay these prices because it's just crazy. And it's like, they don't know any better because they don't remember a year ago what the price should be, or even 10 years ago what it used to be. But I guess you never know. But I think it depends on who's buying the ammo.
I think
if it's new people,
well, of course it's got to be new people because they need ammo just to shoot their guns. But I think a lot of it is existing gun guys panic buying,
which ruins it for everybody. But it's human nature. You can't get around that. You could tell everybody it's like, everybody calm down and it'll be all fine. No, nobody listens to that. The people are human natures and take advantage of everything else.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Yeah. It's like when it does come down, then you get the people opportunistically coming through and buying stuff. So it's, some people I wonder how many people are flipping ammo, trying to just scalp it basically. And I don't know. I have to believe if it's a good portion of new people, they're probably not, most new gun owners or casual gun owners don't have thousands of rounds of ammo. These are people that have like a couple boxes and think they're like fully stocked kind of thing. Cause, how much are they really shooting? So those kind of people will subside after a while because they'll have their fill. But I think it's panic buyers personally, and I don't know, that never stops. I don't think.
Yeah. I've heard best case scenario. It might be like this another year, and then it might be almost like this a year after that. And then it might start leveling out like that.
I think it really depends on the politics, which we don't really talk about here, but I think eventually it somewhat is in lockstep with the political situation. So I guess that really will determine in the next couple months what happens.
I mean, I'm to the point where I feel like I need to get my reloading press set up at some point just so I can easily reload if I need to, so it's right there. Even though I haven't reloaded for years and years, but it would be nice to, be able, crank out a few 100 rounds of 9mm or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those things. It's like, well, do I really, if it ever gets to that point where that's the only way you can get ammo, like we have failed as an economy. Like if the demand lasts super long, people will buy more machinery and all this. We get this at Lone Wolf all the time. It's like, well, hey, why don't you just make more barrels? It's like, yeah, no shit. Oh, wait a minute. Thank you, Mr. MBA. We could have just made more barrels. Oh, no, it doesn't work that way. Like, you're at a certain capacity, and to drop more machines on the line and make the investment and do all that, it takes months to get like a full barrel cell tooled up. And then you have to hire the people to do it. And then, you don't know how long this is going to last. What happens if we get another, Trump slump or whatever, and then you outlaid all this cash and it's not even fully online. You hired all these people. Now you got to fire them right away. Like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Well, there's several smaller ammo companies that came online during the Obama scares and during the Trump slump. Like you said, they went out of business. They're gone. And even big independent makers like Freedom Munitions, they went bankrupt, man.
Yeah.
And they were huge. And so, it is tough. You can't just expand, relentlessly because, all the equipment costs hundreds of thousands of dollars too.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, yeah, we were looking at another machine package, and that's, $1 million plus to just get it online. And you're like, ooh, is that worth it for whatever extra capacity it could give you? I don't know. I mean, in the long run, yeah, it would be, but you don't know if this is a long run situation. But, just look at, like, did you see the, what's the folding Glock company called? Full Conceal. They went bankrupt. Every time I went to buy their booths at shows, they were packed. People all over their booth. And it's just crazy. Like, you think with all the amount of hype and everything, they could have kept it together. Like, this is a boom year too. So like, how do companies like that go out of business? Something's got to be going on. Like, maybe they did expand too fast, too quick, and just couldn't cover it or something. And you never know. There's lots of things that can go wrong. And I think I don't have ammo industry experience, but like the experience we have in the industry, I could totally see expanding over to the ammo side just the same. You don't want to just, I think even ammo manufacturing machinery is way more specialized than any kind of CNC, standard mill and lathe equipment. Because, I would assume that stuff is all built to order for them. I don't think you just go to the ammo machine company and just buy it. I think it's probably built for them or, retrofitted to their needs.
I'm going to, follow the path of the gun, the gun counter guy that you see at the gun shows that cranks out all this ammo on his Dillons in his basement. He's got like 10 Dillons set up and he's just cranking out all this ammo, selling it at the gun show.
Ziploc bags and stuff.
Ziploc bags.
Handwritten down.
Yeah, Ziploc bags with a Sharpie handwritten on it and everything. And you know it's reliable. You know it's going to go bang every time. You know you're never going to get a squib with it. Perfectly safe.
Well, I was going to just mention that I'm really surprised that more people aren't just because, now those Dillons, you can put those ammo bots on them and they run the machines like an automated, semi-automated machinery. But I think still the problem is, like you said, you couldn't get powder, primers and bullets and all just the raw components to do that. The machine may not be the problem. I think it's getting all of the actual pieces and parts to do it.
I might have heard this on like This Week in Guns or something. That show's back up and running. If you guys want to listen to it, the guy, great new host over there. I heard it there or somewhere else, but the primers is really the bottleneck on a lot of this is because so many of the primers are from international factories, like a huge percentage, like over half or something. And
like China or like European
or I don't know where, but probably not China, but they've been shut down for so many months consecutively because of COVID, just not running anything. And so now, if they're back up and running, there's, months and months and months of backlog there for just the primers.
Yeah. And if everybody's relying on the same few sources for these parts, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Cause I think there's only a handful of companies that make the primers in the world. Like,
isn't that crazy that we boil all of our infrastructure down to a couple companies that can make these parts?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I'm not actively shooting. Well, it also helps because it's really cold here right now, but yeah, I'm not actively out there shooting, but like, I don't want to have to not shoot just because I feel guilty about it. Like it's kind of depressing that we can't just go out and enjoy our hobbies and sports and stuff. I'd feel bad for like, what do competition shooters do? Like they're burning ammo. Like, are they just losing skills left and right and all that stuff just perishing because they can't actually live fire like they used to?
Well, a lot of these competition shooters in states that have been locked down and stuff, they had their competitions shut down all year. Even like Cowboy Action, they were shut down like pretty much all year and everything. So I think a lot of guys like that just aren't shooting, or at least not competitively. And I think as far as rounds expended, I think 2020 is way down probably because people just aren't out, whether it's because of COVID or people are out of work or stuff like that.
Yeah, I always feel kind of guilty in this situation because, typically bad for the country, good for the gun industry. So like, I'm doing great, but like, the rest of the country is, there's some serious issues that they're going through and I'm not experiencing it because I'm not affected like that right now. And so I do kind of feel a little guilty about it sometimes when you look at it and you're like, wow, I'm doing fantastic right now. But, everybody else has other problems.
Well, yeah. And it's kind of surreal for me being in South Dakota because South Dakota is not down or struggling. The governor just, did her yearly, budget address and everything. And as a state and as a people, South Dakota is looking great. I mean, our unemployment's way back down and everything, and the state is actually putting money away for future emergencies and everything, and instead of increasing taxes or borrowing money like other states are. So, don't get too much into politics, but as far as being out here, it's drastically different than Illinois,
Well, yeah.
Of course,
that's cool.
That would be the case whether the times are good or bad. It's always bad. A state like Illinois, California, and New York, at least for conservative gun owners.
Exactly. Well, do we have any more thoughts on the state of ammo?
Yeah, it sucks. And, if you're a new shooter out there or, you might want to look into reloading. It's a fun hobby. There's a reloading podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network. And maybe a way for you to crank out some rounds and shoot some rounds and start yet another hobby in the, cause, when you're new, excited about guns, it's real easy to get into reloading too, cause it's something to check out. You might not do it forever, but there's a lot of great components and companies out there for the reloading guys now. I mean, way more than there was just 10 years ago.
Cool.
So what have you been up to, Zach? Did you buy some more body armor kits? Did you outfit your wife and kid with body armor?
No, you know what I did do is, God, what did I do? Body armor. I guess, I'm still waiting on the Cry Precision, plate carrier that I ordered, that's due in March. So I was kind of keep an eye on. I tried to do anything with Black Friday. I'm like, oh, there's gonna be some Black Friday deals, and there were, but nothing I really wanted or needed and everything. And what I did though is T-Rex arms. T-Rex arms. Are you familiar with T-Rex arms? Mm-hmm. Have you seen their video stuff? So he's a very polarizing figure for a lot of people. And whatever, you can feel whatever you feel about him. I'm kind of indifferent on the guy itself, but it seems like all the stuff that I've bought for them has been good. Say what you will about the guy, the product seems good. And what they did is they came out with this, slick carrier, and people say it's like a ripoff of the Spiritus systems and all that. And yeah, whatever it might be. But they're really good with fulfillment. It seems like, I ordered, they did a Black Friday sale, and I ordered one of their slings that I've kind of been looking at, and I ordered another holster, and it shipped the next day. I think they must have been working 24/7 or something. I don't know what the deal is there, but they shipped super fast. But they announced this carrier, and it was in stock when I was looking at it, and it's $190, smooth. I already had the placard already here for it, but it didn't come in multicam. It was tan, green, and black, which is nothing wrong with it, but I'm like, oh, well, I wish it came in not multicam just so it matched the placard I already bought, So then I was kind of hemming and hawing about it. Then I was like, I'm just going to order the tan one. I'll do that. And I went to go get it, and of course it's back stock already. So I was like, okay. So I signed up for the in-stock notification for it, and today it came up again, and I was super busy today, and I hit the link right when I got back to my desk, and out of stock again already. So it must be popular, I would assume, or they're putting in one or two in stock. I don't know what their deal is, but I think I'll probably get one of those in the meantime. I'm still on the wait list for it, but when I was doing all those battle belts, I told you I wanted one of those T-Rex arms Orion belts. And I've had an in-stock notification for that since then, and it came in stock. So I was able to snag that today. So I have one of those coming, cool, which will be nice. So I'll have another belt set up. But
so with your body armor, do you do you put on put your kit on and then stage plates around the house, and then run around in Call of Duty Warzone and shove the plate in your vest and?
Yeah, you got to hold Y as you're walking around everywhere. You can get 5 in there. It's pretty thick. I don't know how you get 5 in there, but you can put 5. or is it 3? Was it 3 or 5? I can't remember now. Side tangent. I haven't played Xbox in a while. I think my Xbox has been out in a couple weeks now. I've been super busy, but I also bought an Oculus Quest, which is the VR headset system. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Really, really cool. And I bought a couple gun games for it. So you get these 2 controllers that you hold in your hand, and they have some joysticks and triggers and then little gripper buttons where your middle finger would be, and buttons on it. And there's a gun game I tried, and I actually returned it. I didn't like it as much, but I bought another one. But these guns are accurate. You're wearing a plate carrier. So when you look your head down, you see the mags on your belt and in your plate carrier, and you sling the gun, and you have a pistol on your belt. Yeah. And you literally hold you use the gripper key or gripper button. So your middle finger squeezes, you grab the grip, and you pull the gun up, and then you grab the forearm with your other hand, and it snaps to, and you can look down the sights. Then when you run dry, you hit the button and it drops the magazine, and then you have to grab another mag from your belt, physically put it in and hit the bolt stop or bolt release, and it goes forward, and then you can shoot again. And the safety selector, you can hit the safety selector with your thumb, and it goes from semi to full. It's really neat. I don't know why. And you do your shoulder squeeze button for the push to talk on the radio. And you pull over your shoulder to pull the GPS over your shoulder out of your backpack to see the map. And, you grab a grenade off your chest rig and pull the pin with the other hand and throw it. And it's accurate. It's really neat. It's a little bit tiring because you're standing when you're playing in these games, there's not very many games you're just sitting in your butt like a Call of Duty style.
You're getting exercise while playing. No, I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah. So side tangent, it's pretty cool. The Oculus Quest, I was a little surprised at how neat it really is, but,
cool.
It's very immersive. It's it's pretty neat. So I got one of those, but
So how many lamps did you knock over?
well, 0, because this is the thing. So it's got cameras on the outside of the faceplate, so it can track your hands and your arms or your controllers and all that.
Yeah.
And when you set it up, it turns on like a pass-through mode, so you see what it's seeing, and you have to draw on your floor where your play area is. That's open.
Really?
And then when you're playing, if you get anywhere close to it, like this fake like Tron wire mesh wall shows up, like, hey, you're right here. This is really your wall. Like, don't hit anything, kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But you know, the game I play the most is table tennis. They have this accurate table tennis game that's like realistic.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, you put top spin on it, like, and then you can play with real people. And so you're just talking over a table and you're smacking it around, and it's super cool. Really, really cool. Huh. And I like it so much that I went on Etsy and I bought a 3D printed ping pong paddle that you put your controller into so it feels like a controller or feels like a paddle. It should be here Saturday. So that was a side tangent. We didn't mean to talk about that, but I don't even know where we were going with that. I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, I interrupted you. So
yeah, so I got some plate system stuff. I actually got a link to a different set of armor that I want to look into. It's called it's got a weird name. It's supposed to be lighter and thinner than ceramic, but it's not steel. It's like diiridium or something like that. I got to look into it more. A buddy of mine sent me a link to it and said this is some good stuff. So I gotta look into that more. So I think I'm going to eventually run up with like 3 or 4 sets of plates and carriers just scattered around, and because you kind of try them and play with them and you'll get better sets and stuff. But I even got my coworker to buy a set. He's like, he got a set of armor. He did use a Black Friday deal from RMA armor, so that was pretty cool. It came in quick. It was carrier and plates showed up. But so that's one thing. But did you get anything gun related on Black Friday?
I did not. My one buddy here, he actually got some ammo, a Black Friday ammo deal for like a box of 522 or something that was like a reasonable price and everything. I was like, wow, you actually found ammo on Black Friday? I was just shocked. I
checked all the ads and I didn't see anything advertised like years past. Usually Black Friday have those like federal black label ammo deals. Mm-hmm. None of that this year, obviously.
Well, but the one Durham Sporting Goods, which is a smaller chain, they advertise like ammo on sale and guns on sale. I'm like, do they really? Because even when there wasn't panic buying, they would advertise like guns on sale, and I'd go in there and they didn't have any. So I'm like, is it just to fill up their ad and get people in their store? That's kind of more how I'm leaning.
Well, I wonder if the old dead tree model of printing paper ads has got too big of a lead time and they have to lay all that out ahead of time. So maybe they think they were going to have it by then or something, or who knows? I don't know. I did find a holster that I ordered. Well, actually, I took advantage of a few Black Friday deals. I got this holster. There's a company called Midwest Tactical, something like that, Midwest Tactical Holsters. But they made these, I wanted a holster that had some active retention to it for my battle belt. So, cause I throw that whole belt with everything in it in a bag in my trunk, a big duffel bag. So I wanted something that just, if I tipped it over or if something snagged on it, didn't pull it automatically. And a CZ is a little bit harder to find like a Safariland holster for. And my Glock Safariland holsters didn't lock in the hood like they would on a Glock. So I bought this holster and it's got this, I opted for the Cordura wrap. I think we talked about this one time before, but it's like a Kydex holster, but then they put this kind of fabric overlay on it.
Right.
And it's pretty nice. I kind of like it. It makes it feel where, if you brush up against anything on it, it doesn't have that kind of like plasticky feel to it. It kind of has more of a soft touch feel to it. Pretty cool. And it's got this, just like a hoop that goes over the back and it has a thumb press. So when you push it, you can rotate the cover forward on it basically. But I just got that in this week. They make those to order. So I ordered it on Black Friday and just got it this week. So I was pretty excited about that. And then I ordered a T-Rex Arms, suppressor holster. So it's really meant for a suppressed pistol, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to build a suppressor host for that as well. You have to have a X300 flashlight on it. Or I think they make a Streamlight one as well, but it locks on the light, and then it has these little Kydex wings that basically support the suppressor. So you heat them up and then bend them to fit exactly your gun and suppressor combo. So it kind of rocks in, and then it can't over pivot because it's got those wings underneath it to hold it. So kind of neat. I just got that, but I got all these holsters going on, and you know how I'm big on the Safariland, fork system, so I can just change the holsters out on a whim. Well, I realized I ran out of forks, so I had to order more forks because I had to steal them off other holsters. I didn't have enough to support how many holsters I have now, but I got that. And then, one of the other things was I had picked the worst time to try to buy AR-15 parts, of course, but, I looked at like Palmetto State Armory looking for stuff. They have some kits, but they're super expensive for what they should be. And, but I needed a barrel, and I just needed a barrel. I didn't need like a full upper or anything, but I remember I built this gun with an 18-inch barrel on it, and I thought it was going to be my longer range AR, and I did that nicer rail that I already had, and I did a bootleg upper and all these fancier parts on it, and it was really nice. But after I shot it, I was like, I don't want to invest the money in the glass to make this actually like a long range AR. Yeah. So it's just been sitting in my safe this whole time with just a red dot on it, because that's all I had for it. So I finally decided to break down and pull that barrel out, and I bought a regular 16-inch barrel for it and just make it a regular carbine. No suppressor or anything. I just wanted to make a light, handy carbine, because I really forgot how light and handy a 16-inch carbine is without a suppressor hanging off the end. Yeah. Even my little short and light suppressors still affect, like, just when you like pick it up and shoulder it, just that momentum that extra weight on the end of the barrel does. So I found, ironically, there was at Primary Arms, they had like a FN barrel for like $2 just like $200, I think it was. So I bought that, and I just got it last night, installed it, and gun is done and handy, and a little red dot 16-inch carbine, and they'll never can claim it's an SBR like they do with pistol braces these days, apparently. So right. I got one that's safe. So I did that. I think I'm going to try to shoot that sometime, but it's cold and I don't want to shoot all my 5.56. But enough about me. I got a couple of things, but what did you do?
Yeah, I worked on that plow truck. So the plow truck, I guess I talked about, the drama of getting the gas tank off and everything. And so I got new gas tank in it with new fuel pump and put gas in it, and it fired right up. Runs great. Runs good. No ticks or anything on the engine. So that seems good to go. And the transmission seems good. Took it for a little joyride and promptly blew out the power steering line.
This is the school district truck, right? This is right. the one that was originally an auction truck. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Blew that out, and there was a brake line blown out. So I fixed the rear brake line, it's a line that runs the whole length of the truck. The nice thing about working on junk is you just leave the old brake line in there and zip tie the new one to it.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. And then, the trans lines I was just working on today, and just so rusty under there. I had to cut the trans lines off, and then I'll have to get the fittings out, put new fittings in and everything. This is like one of those deals where you look up a part for a vehicle and no one claims to have that part. I was on every website there is automotive, and I'm guessing and checking, ordering some things that look like they should work, even though it says doesn't work for your vehicle. But they as long as the fittings are the same, it'll work, because the size and everything lines up. But even like Dorman, they make like replacement parts for every part of your vehicle, basically. And I was on the Dorman's website, and even they were showing they don't make this part, but yet this other part number lines up with vehicles virtually just like it. So I'm hoping that works.
Wait, isn't this just a Chevy? What is that, 3/4 ton? Like, isn't this like the most basic truck out there that they built millions of them?
Right, exactly. And it should be, but man, you go down a rabbit hole of specific parts like these trans lines, and it just drives you up the wall, because it's like, do you have the 16 bolt pan? Do you have the 17 bolt pan? And then do you have this other transmission? And like, they're not even clear on what transmission is what transmission. It's really frustrating.
Why don't you just take the damn thing off and go to like a local store that you can just say, okay, walk me to the back room where all your trans lines are, and I'll match it up to something.
Well,
I used to do that with belts and stuff.
I think I basically did that online, so we'll see when that comes in. And then replacing the solenoid for the plow on it, and it should be good to go after I get all that done. Yeah, I'm really happy it runs so good because, I mean, it runs better than my Yukon, so that's just great.
It's already almost January, so you're just in time to be halfway through the season.
I've really lucked out with it not snowing since I've been working on this pile, so that works out.
Oh, now you just jinxed it. Yeah. Now you're in for it.
But the plow's on it. I'm not taking the plow off. It's just going to live on it. And I don't know, the bed.
So wait, this is the one that only came with a mount, right? It didn't come with a plow, right? You moved your other plow to it and it worked fine? Because you said it was a different style something, a switch or solenoid, if I remember right.
I think it's going to work fine. I think it's just a solenoid not working, because if I jump it with a screwdriver, all the directions and everything work. So I think it's just that solenoid. Knock on wood, hopefully. But
speaking of junk, do you watch the Motor Trend shows at all? I mean, they're doing a series of the Ultimate Adventure right now. So they do the Ultimate Adventures like the 4x4s where they go up to, I think this year it was Montana, and they would fly all the way, drive all the way thousands of, like 1,500 miles, I think it was, in a week or something like that. They off-road and then they go on these trails and then, and then they drive to the next location and do it all again. I was watching the episodes of that, and it's just like the people are, all I thought was you, because it's like, they're like, oh yeah, I drove it up here and, well, the fuel pump went out and, but thankfully I had an extra one in the trunk, and then, oh yeah, then, this seized up and I had to do this, and it was like, and they're talking like this is normal. Like I couldn't trust my vehicle to get from point A to point B without braking somewhere along the way.
I love it. It's great. I mean, I haven't watched those yet, but I saw they were up. I need to find some time, but yeah, I love those shows. I mean, I got out of messing around with cars for so long because I just was so frustrated with how things never went perfect for me. And then watching these shows, I realized it never goes perfect. It's always terrible. And so I've accepted the terribleness and embraced it, and don't yell and scream and throw wrenches as often now.
Well, did you watch the latest Roadkill where they were trying to meet the Crusher Camaro and the yellow Firebird? They're leaving from Georgia. For listeners who haven't seen it, they're basically they got to drive this car from Georgia to Texas to race the guys coming from California to Texas. And it's this 67 Firebird, I think it is.
69.
Something like that. 69, whatever. But it's all like ready to go, and they literally get like a mile down the road and something breaks and they have to go fix it. And then they like get a little bit further and then like the engine blows up. They literally go to a campground, park in the state campground. I think it was a state campground, and have to do an engine swap in the campground. And the park ranger's like, what the hell are you doing? And like threatens to kick them out or call them the police and everything. So they're like literally doing full on engine swaps in a campground site. Like I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
The stress of it would just drive me nuts.
I actually got a Motor Trend subscription for my dad, for Christmas. I already gave it to him, and he said he watched that episode because he had a 69 Firebird like that. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Why'd you get rid of it?
Probably had some stupid kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. As we were talking about ammo, I was like, this is probably the worst time to build a full auto Glock, but, we're building some, full autos at the office, and God, I forgot how cool they really are. Like, it is so neat. The full auto Glocks, we did some testing with the other day, and it's really fast. Like, super fast. Faster than I remember it, but, it's pretty cool.
So how do you guys build them? With the switch plate on the back, or?
Yeah, there's basically two ways to do it. They call them buzz plates, which looks like a slide cover plate from the back, but it has a little finger that's welded to the front of it that kind of goes and trips the sear automatically. And then that makes it just full auto or nothing. There's no switchableness to it, but the ones that we make are, they have a left-right switch on it, which either disengages that sear tripper or engages it. And it's a couple more moving parts, and it's more obvious from the outside that it's, a switch on it, but it is kind of nice to, have it both ways basically. And then one of the cool things too is it's an AR-15 to M16 kind of thing. Like the trigger on an M16 sucks because you're just fighting that to do a full auto. It just, you don't get a good, nice, crisp trigger pull like you could with a semi-auto gun. But the Glocks, it seems to work even with trigger upgrades because it affects the back end. It doesn't affect your trigger pull per se. So far, so good. So I'm excited about that, but
cool.
Yeah.
So you actually build one for yourself that you own, or just
No, they're for the company. That you can't build post samples for yourself. But the company has them, and we have them in there and go from there.
Okay, I saw the ATF guy peeking around the corner and just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what? They're too busy raiding Polymer 80 right now, so it's fine.
Well, because you have some Polymer 80s, does that make you nervous, or?
It doesn't make us not nervous. The good news is we have a little bit of time before ours comes out, so I guess we'll see what happens to them and how that all shakes out. From what I'm reading, of what I read and talked to people about, it just seems like they're specifically targeting those buy, build, shoot kits, which is kind of like a gun in a box. Basically, it's everything you need besides the actual hand tools to finish it. But it's every single component, and maybe that's the difference, and that's what they're just going to work out, I guess. But I don't know. It seems really weird to me. But even when you pay tax, or as a gun manufacturer, you have to pay tax on every gun you build. It's called the excise tax. You don't have to have every single part in the gun to be taxable. You just need the three major components. You need the frame, slide, and a barrel. Oh, yeah. If you have those three things on an order, it's counted as a gun. Oh. So so maybe they're doing the same kind of thing with the P80s. Like, well, maybe they don't have all. I don't know. I guess they'll work it out legally with them, but that's the only thing I could think of why they even think it's an issue. But
yeah, they should have sold it as a set, but in 3 different boxes. Maybe that would have been a loophole.
Yeah, they should have sold it as a fuel filter.
Right. I mean,
a solvent trap.
Yeah, it's a fuel filter for a car.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else you're doing?
I may have bought something. May have bought a 1979 Chevy LUV, LUV.
You have been watching Motor Trend, haven't you?
I have.
For people that don't know, the LUV is like the worst little tiny mini truck.
Oh, it's great.
Is it 2-wheel drive?
Yeah. Yeah. They, I don't think they made maybe they made 4-wheel drives in 79. That might have been the first year they made a 4-wheel drive LUV. But no, it's 2-wheel drive, but it's got the long box. It's got an 8-foot long box on it in a mini truck.
Oh my, you are turning into an old man.
Oh, it's like, great.
I want a pickup truck, but I don't want a big truck. So I'll buy this one that's smaller than an S10, but, has an 8-foot box still on it.
That's right. Little 4-cylinder Isuzu, and it's 4-speed. So that's cool. And it's the best thing about it is it's that, 70s, 80s Chevy orange, kind of faded out orange color to it. So
what color is the interior?
It matches. It's like a reddish orange.
Is it like that fake crushed velvety kind of 80s GM interiors?
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
What are you going to do with all these vehicles?
I hide them. The wife's not. She's embarrassed.
As she should be.
No, they're beautiful. They're something to be proud of. I'm trying to tell her, but I don't know. I kind of wish I would have bought a bunch of guns, because you can just lock those in the gun safe, out of sight, out of mind. But no, I got these big things that I have to park outside that she notices. So.
Yeah, you have these depreciating assets that require constant insurance and tabs and maintenance.
I have bought them at the bottom of their depreciation, so there's no more depreciation happening here.
Yeah. So basically, nobody else wants them and will not be willing to pay any more for them. So you're right there to scoop up all the rest of it.
Oh, it's great. It's a cool truck.
What are you going to do with it?
I'll run it to like Menards and stuff, and be grocery, lumberyard runner. Be fun.
Don't you want a real truck for that?
Well, I mean, if I have to take a real truck, I've got the Power Stroke, so there's that. But this gets like 28 miles per gallon, so that's cool. The Power Stroke gets like 6, I think. It's terrible. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if it needs new injectors or something, but it's pretty bad.
Are you embarrassed when you drive it? Like, when I think of you driving a little Chevy LUV, I think of that Simpsons episode where the really tall guy's in a little tiny, like, is it a VW Bug? I can't remember the exact episode, but he's in a little tiny car, and he's just like, this is all I could afford. Don't laugh at me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that way sometimes, but no, I mean, I appreciate these vehicles for what they are. They're cool.
I mean, the only proper answer to what I'm going to do with it would have been is to put a blown big block Chevy in the front and make like a wheelie stand car or something.
Yeah, I mean, the LUV, I think putting a V8 in that would be the cool thing to do for sure, because then it's just quick and low and everything. So I don't know. I might just leave it like it is too. We'll see.
Why don't you take the Tornado diesel engine and put it in that thing?
Maybe.
How much did you pay for this pile of junk?
$1,000.
So you could add up all your $1,000 junkers and have one decent guy.
I mean, the LUVs they're getting pretty hard to find now. I searched all of Craigslist, all 50 states, and like only 6 came up, and they were all more expensive. The next cheapest one was $2,000. So
that's because junkyards aren't sophisticated enough to list cars on Craigslist yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I told Jenny, I'm like, I promise, no more, I won't buy any more vehicles this year.
Can you even uphold that promise?
I don't know. Like literally right after I said that, I found this beautiful Ford Ranger on the local marketplace that some guy put these big diesel stacks in the bed of it. And it's got like this big custom brush guard in the front, and then it's got like big mud flaps that drag the ground in the back, and it's pretty epic. And that's only like $800 or something, but I don't know if I'll survive that purchase.
Well, I think I'm just gonna have to call Jenny, and we'll have to log into your router, change the password, and set up a filter that those sites don't come through the internet. Like a parental controls, literally a parent control.
I'll hack around it.
Yeah. I still remember, didn't you hack in high school with the computers we had?
Yeah.
And they used to have filters, and I remember you figured out how to get around it.
Yeah, I hacked through the high school filter. Yep. That was fun.
I remember that. Well, cool. I think that's something. I think you need to buy one of those campers that goes in it. And then you look like those little Toyota. Do you remember those little? Do you see those Toyota camper vans? Those little like tiny Toyota trucks that somehow are 1 ton rated with a.
Yeah, there's some guy in Sioux Falls selling a bunch of those Toyotas, 1 ton Toyotas, and they like took off whatever was on them, so they're like cab onlys. But a lot of them are dualies, and like I think several of them are diesels and stuff. And but the guy's asking like $2,500 to $5,000 for each of them, and they're really used up trucks. I'm like, really? You're gonna move them for that? I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you're out there spending money on that stuff, but better than you than me.
Yeah, I'll probably wish it was body armor at some point, but I don't know. This one might
go all A-team on it.
This one might be EMP proof. It's carbureted, 1979. I don't know. We'll see.
It should be, right?
Yeah.
Probably got a mechanical fuel pump and everything on it.
Yeah, probably not. I think it's got an electric fuel pump, so that'd be an issue. See, you have to you get a vehicle this dumbed down, and then you just buy those electronic components and put them in foil and bury them. And then when the balloon goes up, you just dig up those components and install them, and then you're good to go. You're the only one in the county with a running vehicle.
Speaking of, just real quick before we go, in part of this Oculus thing, they have these there's YouTube and VR. There's YouTube videos that are like full 360 experiences.
Oh, really?
And they're pretty cool. And I watched one that was back to Chernobyl. So there was like this 360 view, you standing there, and the guy's talking about Chernobyl. He grew up there as a kid, and he does tours now, and like you can look all around you and everything. And they go to this culture center, and it's like this pool and a pool room and everything. And I'm looking at it. You know what it is? Do you know where I'm going with this? In Warzone, the pool house that's a 2-story with the pool, the big in-ground pool in Warzone, there's a building that's just, it's an exact replica of a Chernobyl building. I recognize it. I'm like, oh, there's usually a loot crate right there. It's like literally, I was like, wow, they really modeled that accurately, because this is the video of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally sidetracked, but yeah.
Cool. Well, maybe next time we record, you'll have another set of body armor, and I'll have another new truck.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see.
That means, so we're recording January 1st is what you're saying.
Yeah. All right, so Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. Check out the Patch of the Month Club, and also we have all those Christmas patches and some new patches in the catalog as well, so check it out, patriotpatch.co. And if you need graphics design, website design, check out hunterofdesign.com. That's Ryan Cross. He does all the awesome artwork for Patriot Patch Co., but he can help you with your brand, your website, hunterofdesign.com. And Zach, where can people connect with you online?
Well, when you can always look at stuff at YouTube and Rainshot. Just email or look up Zach Carlson Rider. It's funny, I keep getting the most comments on these full auto 1022 videos. I had a guy that recognized me from work. He's a dealer of ours, and he's like, he sent me a guy asking questions about it because it was like, I saw the video and I recognized it was you, and so I'm emailing you through here now.
Cool. Reach us at gunguyradio@gmail.com for feedback. Don't forget to check out the other shows here on the Firearms Radio Network. That's a wrap. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.